Today we're talking about 6 pieces of video gear that I would not want to live without. Some of the items we are talking about today I've been using for almost a decade. Other items I started using over the last year and have really enjoyed them. To make it into this video, every item has had to meet the following criteria. It has to be useful across a wide variety of shooting scenarios. It has to be easy enough for me to pack for when I am working alone. It must require minimal setup time for me to get the maximum benefit. It has to be simple enough to use so that when I have a crew, someone could learn to use it quickly. I'll break down each item's features as well as how I personally use each one. This video is sponsored by Nisi, more on them a bit later. If I was only allowed to use one lighting tool for the rest of my career, I'd probably pick a spotlight mount like this Amaran Spotlight SE. If you've never used a spotlight modifier before, you are missing out. Basically, you are just putting a lens on your Bowens mount light of choice, then you are given the ability to direct your light basically anywhere, while giving it nearly any shape you can think of with the 4 built-in metal shutters. This is as versatile as a lighting tool gets. My personal favorite use of this is creating pools of hard light that add texture to a shot. I use it a lot in top-down product shots or to fake window light from a direction where you don't have a window at all. Whenever I find myself in a situation where I need to add interest in a shot, need precision, and a quick setup, 8 times out of 10, this is what I am turning to. Going into a bounce where a light wouldn't otherwise fit, adding just enough ambient light to a room, creating a hard shaft of light when you're shooting with haze. I think the only limit to the usefulness of a spotlight mount is your own imagination. I absolutely love this thing and use it almost every single day. Even if you aren't a lighting professional, I think this is still worth owning because it's super easy to set up and packs down into this tiny foam case. You might surprise yourself with how many ways it ends up being useful when you are making your videos. Next up is a super simple one, but I don't see these talked about much, and that's the Storacell battery caddies. This is just a little plastic mold that holds batteries of all sizes. I've done way too many shoots where I just stuffed double and AAA batteries into random pockets or in plastic Ziplocs. I would drop them all the time, and I also had a horrible time keeping track of which batteries were dead and which ones were charged. With this, you just pop a battery out with a simple push, and when you have dead batteries, you can just insert them upside down, and when you get back from your shoot, you'll know which ones need charging. It's really easy to just throw this into a bag or case and not really think about it. This just keeps your batteries from making a disorganized mess amongst your other gear. They come in multiple sizes for basically every battery type you can think of, even niche batteries like 18650s. I always have 1 or 2 of these in my camera bag wherever I go. It's one of those no-brainer items to just always have with you. On to the newest addition to my kit, the Nisi JetMag Pro magnetic filter system. Now, Nisi did sponsor this video, but I agreed to the sponsorship because I really like this new filter kit that they recently came out with. My issue with the existing magnetic ND filter systems up until this point was that they weren't good enough in terms of color. So while a magnetic filter system adds a ton of convenience, the trade-off wasn't worth it. Which is why I am glad Nisi finally has a magnetic system, because I've already been using their filters for years and they've always been excellent. I also really appreciate that Nisi offers an IR cut filter to this JetMag system because many other magnetic systems do not. If you've ever shot a video where you needed a very high strength ND, depending on the camera, you may have experienced IR pollution, which basically renders your images with reddish brownish tinge that can be pretty annoying to remove in post if you can at all. Now, lots of cameras these days have built-in optical low-pass filters that prevent this issue. However, there are still plenty of great cameras released recently or within the last 6 years or so that do not have this feature. My personal Fujifilm X-H2S is susceptible to this issue, so for me, an IR cut filter is essential within my ND system. On top of offering an IR cut filter, the JetMag Pro as an ND system is pretty clever. Let's start with their locking mechanism for each magnetic filter. In the case they come as a stack like this, you turn each filter on the stack with their little handles and then they come right off. Place the strength of the ND you want on your lens with the magnetic base ring. Then I just turn the handles to align with the indicators on the base ring. And then it is fully locked in place. If you need to add an additional ND or other filter like CPL or ProMist, you just pop it on, align the handles, and lock it. You can stack as many filters as necessary, and each filter is labeled and color coded, so it's very easy to tell what kind of filters are on your lens at a glance. Because of the handles and the locking design, it's relatively easy to get a single filter off at a time instead of pulling multiple filters off accidentally. This kit also works great for photography because these are fixed stop ND filters. So if you don't like using variable NDs, but you still want a quick and easy way to get between different intensity of ND, this is a solid solution for that. It's also nice that for fairly wide lenses, you can use up to 2 filters stacked and still have no vignetting on your image. The construction of this kit also just feels really premium despite how slim the filters are, and the locking mechanism feels quite strong. I was never really worried that a filter would just pop off when I was shooting. The Pro Kit comes with 2 to 6 stops of ND, which you can stack for a maximum of 18 stops of ND. I don't know when you would do that, but you can. You have a CPL and a 1/8 Pro Mist in this kit, as well as 4 magnetic base step-up rings for different size lenses. Everything fits in this nice hard-shelled case, so it's easy to pack. The way I am personally using this system going forward is for situations where I want to be able to quickly throw ND filters across multiple lenses without needing to screw or unscrew a variable ND filter. Lastly, I respect that Nisi has a roadmap to support this product and make it better in the future. They are working on a variable ND filter add-on as well as a matte box accessory, which should be great additions to the system. Innovation in the filter market doesn't happen that often, but this system achieves that. If you'd like to learn more about the JetMag Pro, you can check out the first link in the video description. Now, I'm not much of a sound guy, but having simple tools to solve for good audio has always been important to me. The DD-PR2 recorder is one of the coolest pieces of audio gear that I've encountered. This thing does a lot. For starters, it's a small 32-bit float recorder that can both sync with timecode boxes as well as generate its own timecode. This means if you mic someone for an entire shoot day for a documentary or on-the-fly situation, you have an easy solution to sync your audio perfectly in post, while also not being too afraid of your audio clipping thanks to the 32-bit float recording. The PR2 includes DD's WLAV Pro, which is waterproof, super small, and sounds pretty good in my experience. Here's a quick test of what the DD PR2's included lav mic, the WLAV Pro, sounds like. Hope this gives you guys a small snapshot of what this mic could sound like if you used it yourself. The two standout features to me are the fact that you can use this Type-C port on the recorder as a mic output. This means it is a great option for online meetings in a pinch. Then in the Sidus audio app, not only can you wirelessly control the PR2 to start and stop recording and check battery life, you can also monitor audio through your phone to just check on whoever is mic'd. This basically means as long as you aren't too far away, once you mic someone up properly, you basically do not need to bother them for the whole shoot day. This is helped even more by the fact that the battery life of the PR2 is in the range of 30 hours on 2 AA batteries. I can think of so many shoots where I have done my own audio over the last 10 years where this thing would have saved me a lot of pain. I'm glad it exists now. This next one is particularly special to me because I've waited nearly 10 years for a company to finally make a mid-range tripod that actually delivers on all of my needs. It didn't happen until last year. This is the Smooth Camera Gear T8 tripod. Now, I know what you may be thinking. It's just a tripod. How unique could it be? Let me explain. Now, I've run the full gamut of tripods, everything from the budget options to the generally rental-only brands like O'Connor, who make the Hollywood industry standard tripods. We even owned one that cost over $10,000 when I worked at Linus Tech Tips. As much as I love a great O'Connor tripod head, they are extremely expensive to personally own and out of reach for most people, myself included. This is where the Smooth Camera Gear T8 fills the perfect niche for me and possibly for you as well. This is a 75mm bull head that supports rigs from 2 kilograms up to 10 kilograms. This is amazing because it allows me to operate a camera as small as my Fujifilm X-H2S or a bigger cinema camera like my Ursa Mini 12K. I've used this tripod on quite a few shoots over the last 7 months. No matter how heavy I built the camera, it has held up and operated beautifully. With a tool like a tripod, the small nuances are what really make the difference. The SCG T8 is constructed almost entirely out of metal down to the pan and tilt locks. This inspires a lot of confidence in its long-term durability. Each lock is easy to engage and they are intuitively placed on the head itself, allowing easy access. This head also has an 8-step counterbalance, which is really awesome for dialing in your balance of a specific camera build precisely. At the end of the day though, it's just genuinely smooth to operate, even compared to my experience with much more expensive tripods. Here's where things get even more interesting though. Smooth Camera Gear pairs this head with their Steadfast HD sticks, which are mostly made out of carbon fiber, and they use an easy to grab single lever design on each leg for quick height adjustment. I really appreciate that the sticks themselves have easy access adjustable tension for each latch and a metal mid-level spreader, which also feels as durable as the rest of the tripod. Now, I do believe SCG has done an excellent job with the Steadfast HD sticks, which are definitely able to handle fairly heavy camera builds, even heavier than their T8 head is rated for. However, I've been testing their T8 head with the YC Onion Pine to Peak tripod on my last few shoots. This combination fixes the main issue I had with the Pine to Peak tripod to begin with. It's less than amazing included tripod head. The Pine to Peak has the most effortless feeling single latch height adjustment mechanism that I've ever experienced in this price range. It also has the added benefit of being really easy to carry thanks to its carbon fiber construction, easy to grab tube design, and built-in handle. For the type of camera build I usually do, this combination has saved me time on set while being excellent to operate. I can see myself using this combo well into the future. A tripod isn't thought to be the most exciting purchase, but if you make your living from a camera, it's also a staple purchase that you should consider carefully, because you could easily own it for 10 years if you buy the right one. Price to performance, this combination is one of the best I've ever used. The last thing I wanted to cover is simple, but I could not live without it. It's this duckbill clamp from Kupo. Every grip hardware brand has their own version of this clamp, but basically it's an easy way to grip a piece of styrofoam beadboard or basically any size white bounce without causing a bunch of damage to it. Here's my top 3 ways that I like to use this. I often use this to construct a larger bounce out of multiple smaller pieces of foam core. This allows me to get a large soft source without needing to carry a large bounce that is more difficult to pack. Whenever I'm doing product work and just need a little bit more fill light, this is a quick and easy way to get that. I also regularly use these on the end of a boom arm to put a bounce basically anywhere. This setup works great in conjunction with the Amaran spotlight mount that I spoke about earlier. I never go on a shoot without at least one of these in my grip kit. I hope you found something useful you could use for yourself in this video. Everything I talked about today will be linked in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an excellent day.